Welcome back, everyone. LanceScurvX here, the Scurv podcast. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe if you like the content and the conversation. I ran across a term earlier today, and it was social influence bias. And I looked into it, and it was very interesting. But it was one of those terms that you thought you didn't know what it was, but when you dug deep, it's like, oh, I already know about this. But I thought it was interesting to speak on it from different points, the way the world is going today, and how we don't really understand or realize how we're influenced. And so this is why the topic is called Who is Really Thinking for You? Social influence bias, how they program your mind without you knowing. And if you look at the banner, you see a young girl, school girl. How old could she be? 13, 14? She has books, pigtails, and she looks a bit confused. She has a finger in her mouth. Lots of times when people are a little confused about things, and you see someone with a cigarette offering it to her, and also a big burger. You have another guy in front of her with a religious tract. He's trying to get her into Christianity. And then you have other people in the background. You see a big phone with social media apps. What I mean to say is that we're bombarded with so much in our daily life. And if we don't know who we are, if we are not really rooted in our own identity, it's easy to get influenced by so many things around us, and we end up being followers and not even realizing it. So, social influence bias, when you stop being you. We're living in a time where you don't even have to leave your house to be controlled. You don't have to sit in a room with people to be influenced by them. All it takes is a screen, a scroll, and a weak moment. That's all it takes for your mind to start shifting in ways you don't even realize. Social influence bias is real, and it's powerful. It is a silent force that pushes you to think like others, act like others, and eventually become like others just so you can feel accepted. That's very important to understand, and I'm going to say it again. And eventually become like others just so you can feel accepted. It doesn't matter if those people are right or wrong. It doesn't matter if they are healthy for your life or toxic to your soul. The only thing that matters in that moment is that you belong. Now, the sense of belonging is a human need, and a lot of us don't feel as though we belong. And this is how cults start, gangs start, even things that seem to be legit. Going to church. Lots of times, as it was pointed out to me in a conversation from a really brilliant individual who I just recently connected with, she basically said that most people wouldn't even go to church if they were socially connected or had a life of service. So how much is it on a religious or spiritual level? But we need to feel like we belong, and that can drive us into some pretty bad situations. The dangerous part is that most people don't even know what's happening. They think they're thinking for themselves. They think their opinions are original. But when you trace those thoughts back, you find they were planted by a group, a trend, or a voice online that they trusted without question. We've heard the saying, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. But now it goes deeper than that. You don't even need physical friends anymore. Your circle could be a group of strangers online, people you never met, people who don't know your name, but somehow they're shaping your beliefs, your emotions, and your choices. And that's frightening, but it's so true. And when this influence turns negative, when it becomes rooted in bitterness, division, and low energy thinking, it doesn't just affect individuals. It begins to tear down entire communities. And nowhere is this more visible than in the relationships within the Black community in America today. The digital herd mentality is real. Social influence bias is what happens when people start moving like a herd instead of thinking like individuals. One person shares an opinion, and before you know it, thousands adopt it as truth. No questioning, no critical thinking, just blind agreement. This is how the bandwagon effect works. If enough people say something, it must be true, right? But that's the trap. You see it every day on social media. A post goes viral, and suddenly everyone is repeating the same talking points, the same anger, the same hate, the same division. And many times, the people leading these conversations are not doing it to help people. They're not doing it to help anyone. They're doing it for control, attention, or money. People are being emotionally manipulated, and they don't even realize it. And I have to say, I've seen this play out in my own very life with individuals who tried to control me. And I saw how they controlled other people. But when they realized that they couldn't control me, that I'm an independent thinker, I had to then be demonized and excommunicated from a pseudo group that they thought I was trying to be in, which from birth, I was raised to be an independent thinker, to question everything. And I saw what was happening, but I didn't say anything at all. But once they saw that it wasn't working, I became a threat. Because if I don't fall under your control, then I can help others who you are already controlling, and that was bad. So I realized it firsthand. Let's talk about something real. Let's talk about relationships between Black men and Black women. You have a woman who goes through one bad experience with a man. That pain is real. Nobody is denying that. But instead of healing properly, she goes online. She finds a group. That group is filled with others who have been hurt also in the same manner. Now, instead of balanced thinking, she is surrounded by amplified negativity, story after story, pain after pain, anger after anger. Before long, her one bad experience becomes a universal truth in her mind. Now all men are the same. Now every good man she meets is viewed through a damaged lens. Now she is not responding to reality. She's responding to a narrative that has been reinforced by social influence bias. The same thing happens on the other side. Men who have been hurt gather in spaces where women are constantly criticized, disrespected, and blamed. What starts as pain turns into bitterness. What starts as disappointment turns into hatred. And just like that, the bridge between men and women is burned, not by personal experience alone, but by the collective influence of others who are also hurting. The funny thing is, you don't even need real contact anymore to get to this point. And that's the most dangerous part. Back in the day, you had to be around people physically to be influenced by them. Now, influence travels through your phone, through videos, through comments, through algorithms designed to feed you more of what keeps you emotionally engaged. And they do this on purpose. It's a business. They have to keep you engaged so you can click on their ads or be exposed to their ads. They don't care how degraded you're becoming. It's about money for these social media platforms. So your destruction is very profitable to them, and it is pushed. Have you ever noticed when you're online and you click on a few things that you might like? You might click on baseball, basketball, boxing. You might click on something showcasing Michael Jackson, whatever it may be. And guess what? You see more of it in the sidebar, the very things that you clicked on. That information is being recorded and spit back at you. So when you start getting into these negative groups or negative videos that echo the pain that you have on the inside, more of it will be given to you. It's not to heal you, you know. It's to keep you in that place, to keep you engaged, so these social media platforms can make more money. You see what I mean? So if you watch one negative video, you'll see 10 more. If you engage in one toxic conversation, you'll be pulled into 100 more. Before you know it, your entire reality becomes shaped by a digital environment that does not represent the full truth of the world. And that's how people become divided. That's how people begin to hate groups they've never even interacted with in real life. And there are signs when you're under social influence bias. But you have to check yourself honestly. If you find yourself repeating phrases you didn't come up with, that's a sign. If your opinions suddenly change after spending time in certain online spaces, that's a sign. If you feel emotionally charged about people you've never met, that's a sign. If you judge entire groups based on a few stories, that's a sign. If you feel pressure to agree with others just to avoid being attacked or rejected, that's definitely a sign. And if you can't have a balanced conversation without becoming defensive or emotional, that's a major sign that your thinking has been influenced. The Black community in America is especially vulnerable to this because of existing wounds, historical pain, distrust, emotional struggles. These are real issues. But instead of healing those wounds, social media often pours salt into them. It creates echo chambers where pain is recycled instead of resolved. It promotes division instead of unity. It rewards the loudest, most extreme voices instead of the most balanced and wise. Meanwhile, other communities continue to focus on family, structure, and unity, not because they're perfect, but because they understand that division weakens them. We cannot afford to be mentally divided while trying to survive in a world that already challenges us. Well, how do we break free from this mental grip? You have to take your mind back. That's the only way. That means stepping away from spaces that feed negativity into your spirit. That means questioning everything you hear, even if it comes from a popular voice. That means slowing down and thinking before you adopt an opinion. That means getting real life experiences instead of relying on secondhand stories. You have to rebuild your ability to think independently. That's the only way out. You have to protect your peace like your life depends on it, because mentally, it does. You were not born to be a follower. You were not created to be controlled by trends, comments, or strangers hiding behind screens. You were born to think, to observe, to grow, to connect with people on a real level, not through distorted narratives. When you reclaim your mind, you open yourself up to real opportunities, real relationships, and real happiness. But you cannot do that while being mentally programmed by others. And there is a cost of staying blind. If you don't wake up to this, you will continue to live a life that is not truly yours. Your relationships will suffer, your opportunities will shrink, your mindset will become more negative and limited. And the worst part is, you won't even know why, because you'll think it's just how things are. But you got to learn to wake up and take your power back. This is bigger than social media. This is about your mind, your identity, and your future. You have to decide if you're going to be a leader in your own life or just another voice in the crowd. The choice is simple. You have to decide if you're going to heal or stay stuck in cycles of pain. And remember, time flies. You have to decide if you're going to think or just follow. Because in this world today, if you don't control your mind, someone else will. And they won't care about the damage it causes you. That's the thing. They just won't care. And I'm so glad that I've always been an independent thinker. And those who discover the way to become that independent thinker by shunning all of these negative influences, your life goes higher and higher and is more enjoyable because you know that you're thinking for yourself. And I think about families who are influenced, say through religion, for example, which is something that many people can identify with, and their belief system that's constructed or put inside of them for so long, which changes their attitudes toward life. Imagine growing up with a father or a mother who's a racist, and around the dinner table every night, all day, on the weekend, you hear things about other races of people that are not good. So what do you think? This is your foundation. If you're influenced in a way where you have people around you, again, we have to think about family because that's our biggest influence from very young. Whatever that family consisted of, because different families are different, they're made up different. But what if nothing positive was put into you? And you were raised to doubt yourself. You were raised to think that you weren't good enough to accomplish or achieve higher goals. So now you're not going to, because that's not in your mental and spiritual DNA. But if you look at it this way, what if you are a person who got involved with a person who was raised that way to not really believe in themselves? And here you are being positive, feeding into the person, and they reject it, and you wonder why. They don't say, well, stop talking to me that way. They just brush it off, and you realize that they're not absorbing the positivity that you're feeding into them. See, this is not just about one person. This can be about the people that you deal with. This can be about the circles that you're around. Because once you, and this is just one example, but once you believe in yourself and you're taught to be an independent thinker and a self-motivated person, you're going to find challenges out there of people who don't believe in themselves, and they will literally tell you that you're showing off, that you think you're better than somebody else, only because you don't have their negative defeatist attitude toward themselves. You should adopt that too. And if you like these people that act nice on the surface, but have this internal wiring of negativity and self-doubt, you're going to find yourself, if you spend time around them and don't check the energies of the people around you, you're going to find yourself achieving less. You're going to find yourself lowering your standards. I study people hard, and I learn from observing. And there's no way I'm going to take my positive mindset and trade it in just to be around people. No, it's not going to happen. So you're going to have to learn to cut certain people off. You can have lifelong friends that their purpose is to see you in a downtrodden position. Their purpose is to see you break down and be weak. And they will maintain friendships with you even when they don't like you, Even when they have others that they talk to about you, they forward messages that you give to them, and they will add comments of negativity. And they're watching you like a TV show, betting on the fact that you're going to take a fall soon. He's going to take a fall soon if he keeps doing this. This is dangerous. He shouldn't do this. He's investing in something. He might lose that money. He has a new girlfriend. He might catch a disease from her because I heard she was fast. It's always a negative slant. But when they see that you're so positive, they can't come directly sometime. They're intimidated by your ability to believe in yourself, to take on a task, execute it, and become victorious with it, to manifest it into reality. They don't like it. So instead of celebrating your victories, they'll bring up other things that you could have done to be negative in a very indirect way. Oh, you know, when you were younger, you could have been a great writer. I could see you now. If you pursued that, you would have been such a great writer. Oh, if you had stuck with architecture, you would have been one of the world's greatest architects. And don't you for 1 second think that that's a compliment. That's to make you feel like a failure. And you sit and you watch them, you're like, they think I don't know what they're trying to do. And these are the people that when you look into their lives, what are they doing? Yeah, they work the job, punch the clock, have a little pension, and they're sitting at home doing nothing. They're the living dead. And they can't understand you now to get to the same point on a chronological age point. And you're full of enthusiasm. How dare you? You're still showing me up for what I'm not doing. So there are all kind of ways that people will try to influence you. And so this is why social influence bias is something that's very much real. And the more voids that you have within yourself, the more of a sense that you have to want to belong, which is nothing wrong with that. But you choose who you satisfy that feeling with. Make sure they're positive people. Make sure they have goals. Make sure they're going after something actively on a positive level. They don't have time to sit around and watch other people, gossip about other people, lie about other people. Because that's strong. I recently met somebody who I never knew. And she told me, oh, your wife used to work at this particular place. And I'm like, no, she never did. Yes, she did. She used to work there. And once I told my wife, and I know she didn't work at this particular place, but this is to show you how gossip gets around so strong. So when a person gossips like that and wants to get around you, oh no, you keep them away from you. Because if they cannot know you and be so strong in what they're spreading about you, imagine if they got into your inner circle. You keep them and everybody around them away from you. Social influence bias. It will drain your energy. It will snatch your soul if you give yourself to these platforms, to these people, to these groups who are damn near cults. That will limit you, because you'll be caught up in the quicksand of their toxic mentality. You don't want that. They can be intelligent, they can act nice, but deep down in the inner resources of their soul, there's nothing going on except something to pull you down. And your positivity is viewed as a challenge, because how dare you shine in a way where I can't touch it, I can't pull it down. They will treat you nice to lure you in. And once they lure you in and get your mind and start manipulating it, unless you're very strong, unless you understand your need to feel as though you belong to some type of group and some type of circle that can be used against you, it's a wrap. And your life will not go where it's supposed to go. There's no way Do you look at your cell phone and watch videos when you drive on the road? No. Some people try to glance at it. But it's best to keep your eyes on the road. And this is why meditation, self-reflection, spending time to yourself, to know yourself. Because once you know yourself, the others on the outside who may not have any pristine feeling toward you, they will study you, suck you of your energy, and leave you to dry and leave you to die. It's all about energy. And this is why I can do the positive things that I'm doing every single day and maximize my progress, because I have no dealings with these damn near cults, whether they're people, groups, or influences online. Even when I come online, I have no time to surf endlessly looking at garbage. In my inboxes, my text messages, people just wake up in the morning and throw me 15, 20 videos of going in no direction. We're not working on the project together. We're not together in a group focusing on achieving something. No, just throw stuff at them, Imagine you're driving down the street and people start rolling out boulders and tree trunks and garbage cans on the road. That's what it's for, to take your mind. I don't surf like that. I seek out information, process it, think about my own experiences, and create content to make you think. I'm not into the dumbed down stuff. Symbolically sitting on somebody's back porch or front porch and just running my mouth about people who walk by. That's what many people do online. You don't have to be a front porch type person or gossip to do that anymore. We have text messages. We have screenshots. We have people who view all types of stuff and send you messages. And the news can get around. What about, did you see what this one said? And you see, yeah. And when I speak, I do not care who is insulted as long as I'm speaking the truth. And I don't care who gets insulted when I speak of situations that I've experienced. Because I'm always going to be real and I'm always going to be raw, and there's nothing that's ever going to stop me. Nothing at all. Take control of your mind and keep it. Filter everything that comes your way. When you start to feel emotional about anything, question it. What's the motive of these people who are coming around you? That's the key. But as long as you keep your thoughts to yourself and you are the one who are thinking independently as a free thinker, you will be all right. And the other thing you have to understand, when these individuals come around you, when there are people, you got to ask yourself, what is it that they see in me that they want? It may not be money. It may not be sex. It may be your influence. It may be your positivity. Maybe they don't want to see your positivity exist. Some people come to destroy it because it shows them what they're not doing in their life. We have all types of attacks. We have lots of wonderful people out here. Those are the ones you hold on to. Those are the ones that you pour into. Those are the ones that you can have a sense of belonging with. But other than that, this superficial, take me for who I am and who I appear to be, I got to take you for a test run and see what you're really all about. I'll end it here, but I just wanted to share those words today. And as always, I'm on to the next one. I appreciate your company. I appreciate the comments. I see them all, and it keeps me going. Take care. May you have a wonderful, productive time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. It doesn't matter. Stay positive, and that's something you do 24 hours in a day. Peace.